right, guys, welcome back to the ALGS channel. Hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. My goodness, do we have a lot to dive into and discuss in today's video. If you guys have not read the articles, if you've not seen my Twitter, if you've not checked social media, you missed out on a big match last night, and honestly a lot of big matches even from other regions as well. And so we've got to talk about what's going on inside of the Pro League qualifiers, who made it, who didn't make it, especially when it comes to North America. We had some gruelers, man, and I mean some really sad stories, some really close calls, and man, it came down to the wire. I'm super excited to talk about what's going on in today's video. So if you guys want to stay up to date with all things inside of the world of ALGS and including the Pro League qualifiers, land results, roster changes, and much more, of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, let's dive into what's happening. Firstly, I wanted to make mention of a little bit of a suggestion that came from the comp scene. This was yesterday by His and Hers. Of course, you guys probably know His and Hers, a really good host, big host inside of the scene as well for tournaments and such. I actually saw this on Twitter, then it came over to Reddit. But this is a suggestion that I think a lot of people probably have had, is that smoke grenades should be in comp Apex, or at least should be a perk that all legends have. And so someone was saying maybe it should be a survival item or something, but it shouldn't necessarily just be a Bangalore type thing. And honestly, considering that there are reworks and kits being changed all the time, it's not out of the realms of possibility. Back in the old days, of course, we were like, oh, you know, you can't really do that because that's already Bang's abilities and it just doesn't make sense to change abilities. But now that you have all these new perks and all these reworks and, you know, Lifeline Reborn, Revenant Reborn, all this stuff in the making, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to change a legend's abilities to make the game more balanced. And so I would like to see, if we're going to have smokes, I think everybody needs to have smokes, or maybe there be a smoke grenade or something along those lines, rather than just a simple legend having it. But interested to see what you guys had to say. But this suggestion was coming from them saying, hear me out, Bangalore has been the only legend with an ability to disrupt aim assist and line of sight for 20 seasons now. This would compare to when they introduced jump towers, giving all legends the Valkyrie ult ability. Fair enough, it wasn't game breaking, but it was allowing other legends to be using this as well. Smoke grenades basically should have a much smaller radius than the Bane Tactical, about 40% of its size, much lower drop rate than other grenades, and considering making it a survival item instead of the grenade, if that's an option as well. So I think it's a very good topic to make mention of. Interested to see how you guys would think this would affect the ALGS scene going forward. Obviously, there's going to be changes more than likely after LAN, especially going into the new season, so it all makes sense. Now, speaking of after LAN, who are the teams that are going to be competing inside of the Pro League for Split 2? We now know. Of course, you've got your teams that were already coming back from Pro League, we've already made mention of, you guys know, but the teams that are going to be making it through the Pro League qualifier, we now have those results here for you today. And I got to say, once again, prepare for some sad stories, because unfortunately there are a few. So let's start it off with APAC South. Okay, so the 8 teams that you have making it in the APAC South are Cold in Hell, Barbecue, True, MXF, Kill Devil, Num Nim, the Shotguns Bros, the Remarkable Team, and Grape Fanta. APAC North had Ty, GHS Army, Lucky 7, New J, Funny Loco, Vortex Wolf, Striders, and Style. Then EMEA had Redragon. Of course, you already probably knew Redragon. Danish, probably already knew them as well. Trojan, Apex Warlords, Rolling Teams, Forbidden, Kneecap, and Players. And then you have North America. And I just want to warn you, there are some teams here that you're probably not expecting to see, some teams here that you were expecting to see that you're not going to see. It's a lot of upsets and a lot of emotional, outcries on Twitter after the fact, and some responses and some reactions going to everything as well. Also, I forgot to mention that this EMEA, you do have Shiv FPS qualified, by the way, so really excited to see Shiv back in it as well. But coming in North America, we have the Edgers in first place. So obviously that's Team Penis, Team Skirt, whatever you want to call them, but that's Chase, and then you've also got Presley and Hambino as well. Then you got CCE, a team we all really wanted to see. I think a very hardworking team. Weave, NGNL, Temper, Stallions, which is Alberlelli and Co. Alberlelli is back in Pro League. Temper, which got relegated from Pro League, and now they're going back in. Team Board. And the freaking Tripods have done it. They have made it. They barely missed it in PSQ by 1 point. This time, they're going to be making it in by just 1 point. Yes, that came 49 points for the Meat Lovers, 50 points here for the Tripods. Like I said, coming down to the absolute wire. And honestly, there were a lot of clips and games that really built this storyline in a remarkable way, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. But some of the more notable teams that did not make it, we also want to make mention of. So let's go down the line and talk about what happened. The Edgers, obviously, we've already mentioned making it, and we already knew this team would probably make it. A very talented roster. Second place was CCE. This team is also very talented, very consistent, haven't really won, but they're like always winning and qualifying. So I'm really happy for them. And honestly, I'm hoping that we get to see a little bit more out of Pro League, because I really want these guys to be in the limelight a lot more. Weave as well, another team that have really impressed lately. NGNL, Stallions also, of course, Alberlelli back in Pro League is something a lot of people want to see. Once again, most damage on the night and most kills. I'm telling you, Mac has really been stepping up and showing his worth. And you can't say, honestly, you cannot say that like, oh, this is just Pro League qualifiers. I mean, take a look at this. This is a Pro League heavy team. You've got Tripod's former Pro League, Meat Lovers former Pro League. Obviously, Tripod's was like from last year, but still, you know, former Pro League experience. Meat Lovers was this year. Evolution was this year. A lot of DNO was this year. A lot of these teams that they were playing against are Pro League teams. They're teams that they would actually be playing in the Pro League, and they're actually doing solid. So I'm really happy for the Stallions, and hopefully we see a good split 2 coming out of Alberlelli. But here were your 8 teams that did make it. Of course, Team Board as well with Wizard Coin. Wizard Coin was someone that has really been building up his career over the last couple of months and probably even years at this point. I remember the drama that he had with, I think, Taxi a while back inside of Realm. And then here he is, you know, making his way into Pro League now just years later. Tripods, though, is probably one of the bigger stories that we didn't know if this was going to work. And Meat Lovers was one of the sad ones because they've been there. We thought they were going back. Of course, TeQ has kind of always been in that position, and to see him not go in at all, it's a little weird and it's a little tough. And obviously there's a lot of Meat Lover haters out there, and I get it. You know, not everybody's going to like everybody, but at the end of the day, man, I want everybody to succeed. And this is the storyline that we had for this game to kind of go this way. So it started off with Meat Lovers doing really good, right? Second place, 16 points in game 1. Then you go into game 2 and things don't go their way as far as like the early game goes. And sadly, they die off like a spawn kind of, but they've got 2 kills. So it's like not the end of the world. Then they go into game 3 and they get a freaking win, 23 points. It's a big game. And honestly, if you have played comp at all, you know that if you got a second place start and a win in game 3, you kind of feel like, if all I got to get is top 8, I feel like we kind of made it already, right? Like it feels like, okay, we're kind of safe. We've probably already done all we need to. And so you're not really thinking about anything going wrong until it's match point format and it's not limited to 6 games or however many games, and it goes to 8 games all the way, and it allows for teams to start drawing back and getting their comeback. So Meat Lovers start to struggle in the next game, but to be fair, Tripods did as well. Then you go to game 5 and Meat Lovers once again, not an amazing game, a middle of the pack, but so did Tripods as well. Then you go to game 6, Meat Lovers once again, not an amazing game, just kind of middle of the pack, 15th, 2 kills, but Tripods as well. This is where it all turned for the worse for Meat Lovers. They continued to struggle, but Tripods did not. Second place for game number 7 for Tripods with a 21-point game. Then you go into game 8 with a 4th place, 7 kills, 12-point game, and that was able to push them over the edge. And of course, they won by that 1 point. So really crazy stuff, and we're going to show their reaction here in just a second. But Meat Lovers were not the only team to miss out. Of course, also Known As was going to miss out as well. Eternal with Viz, Sang, and Thalis, and Crow also missing out. Evolution with Yaz, Yuban, and Vudo also missing out. Not sure why Panic didn't play. Of course, he kind of turned up in their game yesterday in order to make them qualify. I thought he was going to get a starting spot today. Just didn't happen. And of course, they did not qualify either. No Name also with Din Pride and Co. did not make it. Beer Ghost did not make it. Fury did not make it with a Vexy, Silent, and Detox. LMAO did not make it with Stunny, Osivian, and Co. They also will be missing out. DNO with Duplex and Prodigy Aces, and Rogue will not be making it either, unfortunately. Brown will not be making it. Puck Yeah Bud will not be making it, and ICBM will also not be making it. So some unfortunate games, obviously, for a lot of these teams. Some really fortunate games for some of these teams. Now, TeQ obviously came to Twitter as well saying, I failed everyone. I'm sorry. This hurts. Just not built for it anymore. And a lot of love coming in here. Of course, everybody's got an opinion on TeQ, and everybody likes to hate. I swear it's all, you know, keyboard warriors though. Okay, I know there's drama, I know there's history, I know there's things to talk about, but at the end of the day, you know, there are some people that take it a little too far in my opinion and like really want the worst for some people, and I just can't understand that mentality. But anyways, Snipe Down saying the hate you get is so incredibly undeserving. I'm assuming at least one team doesn't stick together for Pro League, and if that's the case, surely you would be the first team in, trying to show some support. Nice Wig as well in here saying you are built for this, keep your head up. And so all around, it seems like, you know, there are some people that are trying to show some love here. You know, it's a bad moment. Of course, a lot of these pros have been there. They know what it's like. It's a sucky feeling. And so hopefully things will flip around. And I honestly just like to see the GOATs that have been around for quite some time. I like to see them recur. I like to see them still around in the scene and, you know, still be involved. It kind of builds that storyline a little bit better. But then you did have some of the reactions coming from this. By the way, his Watson thought this was a little bit more serious. Apparently he did not know that Pro League qualifiers were going on that day. And so he wanted to talk, making sure his mentals were okay. And then turns out, oh, I get it. You know, you lost the tournament. Makes total sense. But anyways, also wanted to mention the tripods reaction. So here were the moments where tripods had actually discovered that they would be going to Pro League. They did qualify, and honestly, it's moments like this that really make me love this esport, because you see the passion behind it and how much these guys really care, especially for, you know, some 3 adults who have all been in Pro League at some point in time. And yeah, just crazy stuff. Roll the clip.
They didn't refresh.
Oh my god.
We got it! We got it! We got it! Oh my god! We got it! What the fuck? Holy shit! The script is the script! The fucking script! Oh my god, it's a real thing! It's a real thing! The fucking script is so real! The script is real, Dad. The script is fucking real.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
I might have to pick up alcohols after that, bro. Oh my god, I'm so stressed.
One comeback never seen before ever in fucking history.
Holy fuck!
We're back in the big leagues.
Fucking written, boys.
We're back in the big leagues.
Now, that was not the only team that had a pretty good reaction. We had a little bit more of an emotional reaction coming from CCE, obviously a long way coming. And there was even some drama in the past. Of course, with Team Evolution, you had Evolution dropping on CCE to kind of grief them a while back. And you had Cap basically come out and say that he doesn't respect it. It's almost like an unforgivable thing for Urice to do that. And Panic, of course, came out to apologize and say, you know, hey, I was just kind of going with the flow with the calls, I guess. And Cap basically forgave him. Hey, I understand. It makes total sense, whatever. But, you know, it seems like there's a little bit of a loss of respect there for some of the other players that were involved in that back then. And of course, now it probably feels good to make it and Evolution not be making it. Of course, Urice is not on that roster anyways, but here was the reaction coming from CCE's captain, Cap. And I gotta say, this one's an emotional one. And I really felt a lot of love for this guy. And I'm glad that he was able to make it. Roll the clip.
The motivation that Wig said is like having Nice Wig DM me after that day, just like to keep going. Like I wanted to quit so many times, bro. My teammates know I wanted to quit so many fucking times. Stop being a fucking pussy, Cap. God damn it. I wanted to quit so many times, so many fucking times, man. Playing with this injury, grinding through the pain every fucking day, man. Every day. God, it still hurts. I really didn't want to cry, man. I didn't. But I just can't. I'm an emotional guy, passionate guy.
So let me know what you guys are taking down in the comment section below about all the topics mentioned in today's video and the results coming from the PLQ. Which teams made it that surprised you? Which teams didn't make it that surprised you? Let me know down below. And until the next time, we will see you all later, Gators.